Okay. Yeah. Last couple of videos I made on my head was like cut off or some shit like that. Okay. Um. Yeah, confined space here. We are gonna talk about the Idaho killer. I don't want to say their name. They're being sentenced. He's being sentenced today to a life without parole sentence with no possibility of appeals in exchange for guilty plea to avoid the death penalty. And some people are confused by this. Some people are angry. The families themselves are split down the middle. Half the families involved think it's a good idea. Half think it's a horrible idea. So we're going to talk about a lot of issues that people don't discuss. But keep in mind my background in criminal justice, associate's degree, bachelor's degree, all this shit in my head. Okay, my knowledge. I can help you figure this out. Most people on death row are not executed. Most people on death row die of natural causes. And I've heard other guys argue, well, isn't death row cheaper? No, it's not. Because someone on death row, well, if you have a guy that commits murder, especially at that scale, he has to be put in a prison that's so secure, it's equally secure to death row. Death row is very, very, very secure, so the inmates don't escape. But when you got a guy that's a mass murderer, he has to be in a prison that costs an equal amount of money. Now, this plea deal says life without parole, no appeals. When you have the death penalty, even if the lawyer who represented you was a total dumbass, the death penalty appellate lawyers are like class A. They could easily cost $500 an hour, 24 hours a day, for a decade or more straight. In fact, it is cheaper to keep a guy in regular prison for 50 years than a guy on death row for 10 years. Now, let's talk about the other aspect of this that no one overlooks. Having a guilty plea is a slam dunk, because once the guy pleads guilty, whether it's quadruple murder or shoplifting, once the guy pleads guilty, he's guilty. There's no jury, there's no discussion, he's guilty. That's it. Consider this. A long time ago, when I was younger, Nicole Brown Simpson, the ex-wife of the football player, called 911 and said, "I'm Nicole, my husband is OJ, he's gonna beat the shit out of me." And someone came through the door, screaming like a lunatic, and Nicole identified OJ, the kids are sleeping. He went away. A random person came to the house, met her at the door, cut her head off. Her boyfriend came to the house because her mother left her sunglasses at the restaurant he works at. He was her boyfriend. He brought the sunglasses back. He comes across the scene. He gets his head cut off. And for some reason, the blood ends up being on OJ's truck. Even though OJ's innocent. 12 people believe that. In fact, if you watch the TV show with Cuba Gooding Jr., John Travolta in the guise of F. Lee Bailey, I don't know if he said it in real life or if it was a TV moment, but John Travolta in the guise of F. Lee Bailey says, the jury discussed the case for 4 hours, right? This jury has discussed this case less than anyone else in America. Whether that was a true statement that was made or Hollywood fiction, that was it. The 12 people discussed the case for 4 hours. They discussed that case less than anyone else in America. Literally. Also, 2-year-old girl in Florida, Kaylee Anthony. She drowns in a pool. Her grandfather pulls her dead body out, throws her dead body at her mother's feet, says, "This is your fault." Mother has a flashback to when she's 9 years old and her father rapes her. She buries the body in the woods, and then for a month goes partying and drinking and boozing and just conniving, and it was an accident, and her only crime was a cover-up. 12 people believe that. There was an illegal alien who came into America no less than 5 times, was deported no less than 5 times, convicted felony no less than 5 times, re-entered no less than 5 times. He's sitting in jail in San Francisco. The jail gets an order to detain him for federal charges, and knowing he's wanted for federal charges, they break him out of jail. He steals a federal agent's gun, and while he's hunting seals, he misses the seal by 500 miles, 1,000 miles, and hits a woman in the back by accident. 12 people believe that. Okay? So you never, ever, ever know when whatever bullshit story this guy would tell a jury, you never know what the jury would believe. And yes, Idaho has less dumbasses than California. But explain Florida. So, and if 12 jurors say you're not guilty, you go free. It doesn't matter if you admit it later, you go free. You could literally have 12 people say you're not guilty, and then you could actually reach into your bag and whip out the head of the victim and hold the head up in court and say, "I killed this person." You still can't be charged. Once you are found not guilty, you can never be charged ever again, period. Literally, period. So if he were found not guilty, he would go free, and being that fucking crazy, he might do it again. You don't know. Or a loophole to double jeopardy. If one juror says no, and if 11 jurors say guilty and one juror says not guilty, you can be recharged. But by default, you go free. So 11 guys say not guilty. No, 11 guys say guilty. One guy says not guilty. You go free. While the DA is rebuilding the case, because the DA for quadruple murder, they'll recharge you. A lot of times, if you get a hung jury, the DA says, "Fuck it." But if you have a quadruple murder with a hung jury, they'll try it again. But while the DA is retrying the case, rebuilding the case, issuing subpoenas and indictments, other bullshit, you're free. What if you kill again? So when he says guilty and gets life without parole, he's pretty much guaranteeing that he will never get out of prison, and it eliminates the possibility of him having a dumbass jury. You'd be shocked what a jury would believe. Okay? There's a lot of innocent guys in prison because the jury said guilty. A lot of guilty guys running around because the jury said not guilty. It happens. So that's that. But also the trauma. Several people would have to testify against him, including one witness that actually survived the massacre. You know what that does to a person's psyche? They can give a victim impact statement if they want to, but they don't have to. But if you're pleading not guilty and demanding a trial, you have a right to confront them and cross-examine them. So that's that. Okay, thank you.